Hello folks, it's Rich here, not in a Puma top for a change. This is a lightweight one, I can zip it up and down. It's a cardie with a hood. I'm old, so I can wear cardies with hoods. This is a quick video for NJP 2K9. That's a reference and a half, isn't it? It sounds like something from Star Wars. Who recently found my channel, hello and welcome, and asked, what is my guitar story? So, for those who've been with me for some time, and thank you for those people who have stuck with me. Appreciated as always, genuinely. So if you've heard this before, skip on. If not, have a listen. It's not a long story and it's not an interesting story, but it's a story nonetheless. So once upon a time, there was a young lad called Richard, and in my household, when I was a kid, AC/DC and Jimi Hendrix and The Who and the Kinks, people like that were playing back. So I was born in 74, so this was kind of late 70s and early 80s. My father used to be in a band called The Train, spelled Trane, and they were very much an up-and-coming Beatles-esque kind of band, and they looked like they were going somewhere. My father dropped out of university to be in that band, and unfortunately it was the drummer and the bassist that they were killed in a car crash, and that was the end of that. So, but he was a guitarist, rhythm guitar, and he could sing a little bit too. And then a bit later on, he was in a band called Penumbra, which I didn't know at the time, but Penumbra means half shadow, and they were a Shadows tribute band. And Ian McCutcheon, who you can find on, if you Google him, is the lead guitarist, and he knows Hank Marvin really, really well, and he can play as well as Hank Marvin, all of his stuff. He's a proper Shadows man. My dad was a rhythm, so he was the Bruce Welch kind of guy in that band. So I loved the Shadows as a kid. Now, I asked my father to try and teach me guitar when I was a little kid. Unfortunately, my father's a proper arsehole and just not a nice bloke. So the last person you want to try and get any patience or any attention out of. So that didn't last. That didn't go very far, unfortunately. But I'd always had an interest in guitar, and my ear goes towards rock and metal as a young kid. You know, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I don't think you choose what kind of music you like. You don't think to yourself, do you know what, I'm going to love jazz and I'm going to listen to it and I'm just going to love it. You either like things or you don't. It just strikes a chord. I remember having the compilation vinyl records as a kid of different sorts, and the ones that had a sort of a heavier beat or a guitar solo or something in just kind of resonated with me. So my musical taste went from ZZ Top, Bryan Adams, AC/DC, kind of just rock music, and over time it just kind of developed. My musical taste went to Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden, and Iron Maiden became Megadeth and Metallica and Slayer, and Slayer became Deicide and Cradle of Filth and Belphegor, and now I'm a death metal man. But I do like lots of other things in between. Buckethead, I'm crazy about Buckethead, and I like some country stuff. Jason Aldean in particular is probably one of my favourite. Luke Combs. I like Andre Bocelli. I'm a big fan of his stuff. I like a bit of blues. It's not my favourite thing to listen to. It gets a bit samey, bizarrely, even though I quite like having a little tinker along to backing tracks. And trance music. I like some trance as well. So an eclectic taste. You know, when I've got things on, Kelly Clarkson's my guilty pleasure. But when I've got my music on shuffle, there'll be a Kelly song and then a Britney Spears song, for real, and then Deicide will come on, or 1349, and then it's Wasp, and you know. But the guitaring, so that kind of took a back seat. And then when did I have another go at it? I don't know, I've probably must have been maybe in my late teens, and that came and went. And then probably 2005 I had another dabble. I've got an electric acoustic and a cheap, it might have been a vintage, I've forgotten actually, V100. And yeah, it's a difficult instrument, isn't it? That kind of came and went. And then it's 2015, I don't know what possessed me, but it's the same thing. Let's have another go. And I bought a Fender Lone Star Strat Silver one. Nice guitar that was. Very hard to find. And this got me into buying and selling and changing guitars like the wind every 5 minutes. I had a PRS SE24, then I had a Gibson, I'm trying to think now, it's on my spreadsheet. I had 196 guitars now, but I then had a Gibson Les Paul Tribute, no, Studio, I can't remember which. Then I had a couple of the Strats, and I kept sort of trying a little bit, but that time it's sort of almost stuck, I suppose. I packed it in again and picked it back up in 2020. Yes, and that's when I came across the Harley Benton brand. And back in sort of 2020, and just around there are only really 3 main Harley Benton reviewers, and that's Henning Pauly, Nick in the States. I don't know what's happened to Nick in the States. Used to like his channel, and Corey Mura. Hi Corey, if you're watching. I'm sure you're not, but Corey was really good, and he took a break from YouTube for quite a while. There's done a couple of things again recently, and so there weren't too many. But Harley Benton was really gaining some momentum then. I bought an SE Custom 2, which I still like. Still one of the favourite guitars I've had actually, and I just decided, just lockdown, wasn't it? Just do an amateurish review. That's how the YouTube thing started. Never meant to be anything, and it still isn't serious. So the fact that the channel's had 1 million views is absolutely bonkers. But so from 2020, I thought I'd start playing again. And during that period of time, as the long-term subscribers will know, I've had a few one-to-one lessons. Not many, but a few. I know probably half a dozen in total now. I've bought some courses online. I've looked at YouTube stuff, and yeah, I haven't really improved for 3 years. I'm just stuck. I get bored with stuff really quickly. I've got a super short attention span, and yeah, if something gets a bit hard, I'll just kind of deviate and do something else. Terrible. No staying power. It's the same for most things in my life, to be honest. That's just kind of in my nature. I'm impulsive. I chop and change my mind on things constantly. Then I'm like a magpie. The next shiny thing, I want it, and then I get bored with it. It's just kind of in my nature. Yeah, golf clubs were a thing. For those who have been around a while as well, I've had 180 odd sets of golf clubs. I mean, I've packed in playing golf altogether now, but so that was the thing. But radio control cars, I'd shed loads of those. They come and go. Yeah, just really impulsive and faddy. So guitar was kind of like that. So over these past 4 years, I've just constantly changed guitar, because there's so many and they're so nice. What do I like? This is a bit hard to play. Find something easier, or I'm trying to learn something and it's getting difficult, so I just duck out. Or if I get a new guitar, that'll make it easier. Just like a bad round of golf, I get some new clubs and I'll play better. Of course, it doesn't really happen like that. So I'm now in this situation, which I've been in for quite some time. Am I ever going to be any better at guitar? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. If I want to learn a song, unlike Carsten the Game Dane, Game Dane, he's brilliant. I know he's got some time with his new job, but all the same, he's good at reading tab and he sticks with it and he learns to play a bit of a song. I'll spend an hour and I'll get bored, especially when it gets hard, and go, okay, I've got just a general lick, and then I'll just do my usual boring improv, which is also kind of stuck. So yeah, am I ever going to be any better at guitar? I don't know, really. I don't know. I would need to get to a point where my attention span remains and stays on it for a period of time, when I can find some determination to push through on the basics and learn a bit of theory. But that has eluded me, and it might have got me fiddling like a putty. So I had to bought a drum kit again recently, because I had a drum kit a long time ago. I used to play as a kid, and I haven't picked up the sticks on that for a bit either. Got bored with that. That is my guitar journey. Oh, and of course I stumbled across Chapman guitars about 18 months ago, no, a bit longer. Never liked a reverse headstock. Thought that was not for me, but there's a couple of the Chapmans just kept catching my eye, and I thought I'm just gonna have to buy one and suck up a reverse headstock. And it just got to the point where the reverse headstock now doesn't bother me at all. In fact, it's become kind of the norm. I like the string tension the other way around, and I've liked Chapman guitars. They've become a sweet spot, which is why I've kind of gone back to them. I think they're good value for money. You get a lot of guitar. Of the 30 something I've had now, 32 or 3, I can't remember, they've nearly all been good. You know, I've had very few issues with any in terms of like sharp frets or anything bad like that. Probably in a couple. So yeah, the quality's been consistent for me on them. Yeah, the pickups on some of them are their personal taste, aren't they? Some are better than others. And I guess my only gripe, which is why I've probably gone away and come back and changed and chopped them a little bit, is I'm a medium fret man, and they're nearly all jumbos, or extra jumbos on some of them, and stainless steel jumbos, which are even chunkier and rounder and fatter. It'd be nice if they just had some with medium frets. The latest P90 telly with the headstock the right way around, that's got medium frets, but yeah, I like Chapman's. So that's it. This is a 10-minute video. Can you believe it? If you're still here, good for you. So NJP 2K9, thank you for joining the gang, and that's my brief story. And if you'd like to see some other videos, there are about 1,485 million of them. Ta-ta!